Yeah, we're at, because this hasn't been a happy hunting ground for the Hawks for quite some time. I think 2003 it might have been. Certainly not the time that I've been coaching the club. If we won up here, so we'd have been happy with the 1 point victory, but to actually control the game in the second half was really pleasing.
So was there a sense of frustration in that first half where you clearly had enough of the ball, but you just couldn't sort of make your own?
Oh, listen, Sydney are a good side, and they're a hard side to crack. So we're, to be fair, we're just pretty happy at half time to be right in the game, because the previous 4 or 5 times that I've come up here with the side, the game's been over by 10 minutes into the second quarter. So to actually be in the game was really pleasing. So it was just a matter of persevering. Though we didn't know which way the game was going to go, even at half time. We thought that we'd controlled the ball and maybe missed some opportunities in the second quarter, but Sydney can, especially with their rebounding defenders, can score very quickly if you're not careful, and with a guy like Goods in their forward line, can be a dangerous side. So just had to stick at it, and we ended up being able to control the stoppages a bit in the third quarter, which really helped get us over the line.
I get the sense that this whole fact that you haven't won here for a while was sort of something that you talked about and conscious of, sort of coming into the game.
Oh, our whole club was conscious of it. It's a very, very big game for both clubs. We're both challenging in the 8 and wanting to push ourselves right up the top part of the ladder, and we're on their home turf that we'd performed poorly and hadn't given ourselves even a chance in games when we've played here previously. So we had a fair focus on wanting to put our best foot forward, and full credit to the players. They stuck to their structures really well and able to get the victory.
What does this win, and particularly the way you performed in the second half, tell you about the way you're travelling at the moment?
We're probably a difficult club to read right at the present time, albeit that we're absolutely stoked to be 6 wins and 2 losses. But it's such a tough, hard season. That you just got to review the game on Monday, and there's some things that we didn't do so well today. Sydney are a very, very good pressure side. They tackled really well again today, particularly early, and caused us to make a few errors. But it's really just a matter of chalking up the wins at this point of the season, and hope that you add them up at the end of the year and you've got enough to certainly finish in the 8, but hopefully finish in the top 4 and give yourself a real chance to mount a challenge at the pointy end of the season.
Obviously, you talked to your players, no off phones yesterday, 23 hours before the game. Was the effect of the game before that?
Yeah, I handed my own in too. It was mainly about, we needed to change our mindset coming to Sydney. Great motel, beautiful harbour. Just everything's in our time here has been too comfortable about coming to Sydney, and we just wanted to make it quite clear, because mobile phones become such a big part of everyone's lifestyle now that every time that I knew that if we took the phones away from the players, that every time they went to go to their pocket to either text message someone or receive a phone call or something like that, that it'll remind them just what the very reason is that we're here, and that's to play footy and play a very, very good side that has challenged us enormously every time we've come here. And I think it probably played a very, very insignificant part, but that was the type of mindset that we needed to have. We needed to do something differently, and our players were superb in carrying out our instructions today.
So is it something that you'll think about pursuing in the future, or is it one-off?
Oh, gosh. Coaches come up with numbskull things, mate, and I reckon it had very little difference in terms of the way that we approached the game, albeit that we just wanted to be very, very clear that we're up here to play a game of footy. Let's carry out that mission, get the 4 points and go back to Melbourne. It's the first time we've been able to do that since 2003. So that's really pleasing for our club, really pleasing for our coaching staff, but particularly pleasing for the players who work so hard to get the 4 points.
Do you feel as if you outran the Swans? Because it ended up being a bit discrepancy in the
Yeah, I just felt early on that we're a little bit static with the ball and didn't perhaps move the ball as quickly as we could have when we had the opportunity to early on, and weren't getting. We've got some dangerous players in our forward half, and Rioli's return, even though he didn't have a great influence on the outcome of the game. Just his presence down there was a real worry for the Swans, and when you couple that with Hodge, who played a bit more forward today, and Franklin and Roughead, it was a pretty potent forward line, and we just thought we weren't moving it quickly enough to them early. But a lot of that was due to the Swans pressure, and it disallowed us to actually get the movement of the footy that we like. So, it did open up a little bit in the second half.
How did Max play?
Sorry?
How did you Ruffman put up there?
Yeah, Max actually just got a bit of a whack. I said to him when he was sitting on the bench, that's the least of your worries, mate, just getting a whack to the back of the skull. So, listen, I thought he was terrific against Mumford early in the game in particular, and he's had a tough journey. Hopefully it's the start of something special for the lad. Yeah, it's ironic that those two lads have had so much misfortune. I think Nick's hurt his knee 3 times as well, and they've chosen different paths to come back into their footy, and Max has been the more conservative, traditional method of knee reconstructive surgery, and Nick's obviously used the last surgery, and with some success for him too. So it's just great that they can play footy, and who knows what methods players will use in the future. But hopefully for all players that have reconstructive surgery, that the last procedure is a successful one, because if it is, we get our great players like Nick playing the game, and Max too, but we get all the blokes who need reconstructive surgery to get back on the field earlier.
You're surprised that Nick did as well as he did first up?
You direct those questions to Horse rather than me, mate. I'll answer any question you like about Hawthorn, but Sydney's all Horse long line.
You only went inside 52 more times than them. You won obviously the answer there. Obviously having someone who can finish like Franklin was pretty significant.
Yeah, he wasn't finishing too well early, the big fella. He got going a bit in the second half. He's a key forward. I think he's had 10 or 12 shots on goal, and he's had 25 or 28 possessions or something like that. He's very, very important to us today, we're obviously pretty mindful of how dominant he can be in games, and that we direct too much footy to him at times, and that's compounded a little bit maybe by Ruffy playing more in the ruck, and that he's not down there as a second tall to draw the ball as much. But we'll just work that out as the season progresses. Hodge and Burgoyne and Rioli can all draw the ball pretty well in our front half, so we'll just see how that evolves over the next little while, because we need, whilst Renouf and Hale are out of the outside, we're going to need to use Ruffy in the ruck a fair bit. It's not too often you can get late in the fourth quarter and think that you've probably comfortably enough in front that you can rest a couple of guys. So we took Rioli and Roughead off late, Whitey a bit undersized, Whitey in the ruck, but we just wanted to protect some of those guys that have done so much work for us in that area of the ground.
Injuries-wise, put up okay?
Yeah, I think so. Apart from Max getting his scone rattled a little bit, I think we've come out of the game okay.
You get some guys
back. Smith will only miss the week, I think, so he'll be available to play next week.